The Vatican has released Pope Francis's message for the first ever World Day for the Poor. His message and this initiative is a call to everyone to love not only in word but also through our actions. Vatican Correspondent Mary Shovlain joins us from Rome. Mary, this World Day for the Poor was created by Pope Francis himself. Tell us about when it is and what is his message?
Lauren, the actual day isn't actually until November 19th later this year. That's the 33rd Sunday in Ordinary Time, the week before we celebrate the Feast of Christ the King. That's when Pope Francis wanted this to happen. And it all came about because during an audience last November in the Vatican with about 6,000 poor and homeless people from in and around Rome, Pope Francis spontaneously said, why don't we have a day dedicated to the poor? So that's how it all came about. His message is simply that of we have to go beyond words. Let us love beyond words, putting our words into action.
The Church has always served the poor. Why do you think Pope Francis wanted a specific day to do this?
Lauren, in the Pope's words, he said this day is meant above all to encourage all believers to react against this culture of discard, of waste, the throwaway culture as he calls it, and to embrace what he calls a culture of encounter. Archbishop Fisichella presented the Pope's message today to the press, and he told me it's also about realizing the special place that the poor have in the life of the Church.
Pope Francis invites us to say, please, for one day, think about that. The poor are protagonists in your life.
Lauren, he's asking all of us to reflect on what else that we're able to do. As we know, the Catholic Church is the largest charitable organization in the world, but he's asking us all to take a deeper look to figure out how better we can serve the poor throughout the world.
And you know, Mary, I think that it is so important for each one of us to think, what can I do for the poor today? And as opposed to thinking of poverty as this overarching issue.
That's right, Lauren. I think the more we reflect on that, the more we see the poor as a resource for all of us, and the more we find concrete new ways to serve them. And in fact, Pope Francis, who will celebrate the Day of the Poor in November 19th, of his own initiative, he's going to invite the people at that Mass, about 500 of the poor, to lunch with him afterwards. So he's also inviting us to think, what more can I do, and find creative ways to love Christ and the poor.
Mary Shovlain, EWTN News Nightly Vatican correspondent. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Lauren.